Alright, in this video what I want to do, I want to talk about purchasing a new vehicle, what I believe that you should do. Honestly, what I believe a person should do is buy a used vehicle. Now, first of all, I am former GM certified as a salesman. Also, I was a parts specialist for a while. I kind of know the game. I know how it operates. When you buy a new vehicle, what you have to understand is the depreciation value of that new vehicle. Say you go out and you buy yourself a brand new Escalade, top of the line. When you roll off the lot, that vehicle depreciates thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars, okay? So, you have a lot of your makes like Mercedes-Benz, who are not what they used to be, BMW, who are not what they used to be as far as quality. You're buying a luxury vehicle. Luxury vehicles do not and will not last as long as some other vehicles out there. No BMW is going to last as long as, say, a new Toyota Corolla. It's just not going to happen. The Japanese have a completely different mindset on vehicles. They build vehicles to last, longevity. A luxury car, the manufacturer figures that the owner is probably going to trade it in within a few years, because people who can afford cars like that generally trade that car in. They stay up to date. They always have something fairly new. So longevity-wise, I wouldn't recommend going with a car like that. Stick with your Hondas, Toyotas. We'll get into talking about Honda and Toyota here momentarily. We'll get into talking about what I believe to be the best truck, some really good vehicles that you can purchase. First of all, if you need a new vehicle, there is absolutely nothing wrong with buying a used vehicle. When I bought my Corolla, my little four-door car that I love, it's been completely bulletproof. It had 28,000 miles on it. Now, I did go with a used car. 28,000 miles is really nothing. And I've gotten great usage, great life out of the car. I paid $12,500 for it, which is far, far less than what the car would have been new. So I saved myself some money and got practically a brand new car. So when you buy used, you don't always have to go with something that's high mileage. What I mean by buy a used vehicle, I mean, get something with as low of mileage as possible. That way you save some money. That way you're not hurting yourself where that depreciation value is concerned. Because when you buy a new vehicle, that's, you're really hurting yourself, because as soon as you roll off the lot, that car is no longer worth what you are going to be putting into it. So used, when you go to the lot or wherever and you're looking at a used vehicle, always, if you can, have it checked out by a mechanic that you trust. Or if you know cars, make sure that you look it over properly. Look at the body lines, and you can always tell if a car has been wrecked for the most part. You can look at the gaps between the hood and the fenders. You're going to have a gap that's going to be even all the way down. Okay, if you see that it's far apart and then close together at the bottom, chances are that fender has probably been replaced. So look at the body, check it out for leaks, look all around it, okay? Some say get the Carfax. I know for a fact, as a former GM salesman, Carfax are not always accurate. They're not always accurate. So really, you need to have the vehicle checked out. Get it up on a lift. Have somebody check it out for you. Make sure that you, of course, test drive it, that the engine sounds good, and all of that. So Keep in mind that warranties do not always cover everything. You really have to be careful with that. When you buy a warranty with a used vehicle, what does that warranty entail? What all does it cover? Does it continue to cover the engine, the powertrain? These are all questions that you need to get answered. As far as good used vehicles, I really like Toyota all the way around. They just last. If you're looking for a car that's going to last, you can't go wrong with a Camry. You can't go wrong with a Corolla. These cars they're known for being cars that last. Honda Civics, cars that last. Now, the difference between Honda and Toyota, I would have to give the engine edge to Honda. Honda actually makes their own engine, as where Toyota actually has other individuals, other companies make their engines for them a lot of the time. But Toyota engines, regardless, have been known to hold up very, very well. The transmission, however, I would give to Toyota. I think Toyota has the better transmission. Now, if you don't mind a stick shift, they last. Those transmissions will always last longer than an automatic. They're just known to last longer. Not taking away from the fact that you will have to replace the occasional clutch. You will have to replace throwout bearings, things of that sort, but those things are far, far cheaper than replacing an entire transmission. So, as far as trucks, I'm a huge fan of Ford trucks. Always have been. Not to say that Chevrolet is all that horrible. Ford, the F-150 series is and has been the number one selling truck in the United States for years. All-time best-selling truck. And there's a reason for that. Ford, it's always been great quality. And you have to, that goes along with your maintenance and taking care of a vehicle. I'm a firm believer that you can make anything last as long as you properly take care of it. It's just like a relationship, You take care of that other person, that person's going to take care of you. And with a vehicle, it's no different. You take care of your vehicle, it's going to take care of you. But if you neglect it, sooner or later, it's going to bite you. So, I believe in Ford trucks. I believe in Toyota Tacomas, great trucks. The Tundra, pretty good truck. For a full-size truck, though, I would definitely go with a Ford. Definitely not a Dodge. I'm not a Dodge fan. Dodge, Chrysler, you can ask any mechanic and they will tell you that they are the absolute worst as far as electronic failure, as far as problems. Dodge's, Chrysler's depreciation value is greater than any other, make in the United States. So, that's saying something. Not to say that they don't have some pretty nice vehicles. The Challenger, the Charger, great looking vehicles. But, here we go again. You want something that's going to last. General blue-collar worker is going to want something that's going to last, that he's not going to have to put a lot of money into. And this is another thing when buying a car that you need to think about is the annual price of owning the car. How much fuel does it take? How much does it cost roundabout to fill it up? Tires. If you get a car that has 15-inch tires, you're looking at around $340 or $50 for a decent set of tires. However, going up one step higher to a 16-inch tire, the exact same brand, exact same type of tire, same model number, just one size bigger, you're looking at going from $350 up to around $650. So the bigger the tire, the more money it's going to cost. And the sad reality is the larger the tire as far as diameter, generally they do not last as long. And that has to do with simply the fact that there's less rubber making contact with the road. A 15-inch tire will always, in most cases, outlast a 16 or 17-inch tire. From my experience, a lot of these guys that run these great big wheels and these low profile tires, they're paying an arm and a leg for these tires that are not gonna last. They're just simply not going to last. It's a waste of money, in my opinion. Not to mention the fact that it takes away from your ride quality. When you have all this rim and very little tire, it takes away from the ride quality of the vehicle. You can feel every bump. You know, it's very important when purchasing even a used vehicle, like I say, have it checked out, make sure there's no leaks. Think about how much it's going to cost to fill it up, how fuel friendly it is, you know, how much fuel it burns. Make sure it's not overheating, things of that sort. Try to get a log or something on the maintenance, what all has been done to it. Get receipts if you're buying from an individual. One of the things that I do as soon as I get a new vehicle is I begin a log. Everything that I do, every oil change, every time I put tires on it, every time I rotate the tires, every time I do a drain and fill on my transmission, every time I flush the radiator, every time I change the brakes, every little thing that I do, I log it down. Changing the spark plugs, everything. That way I have a log for my own personal reference. That way I can look back and say, okay, well, I put spark plugs in this car at 34,000 miles. When am I going to need to change them next? It's never a guessing game if you have things written down. So always keep that in mind. You know, and keep up with your maintenance, your oil, your fluid levels. It's extremely important. Always check your belt. Make sure there's no cracking. And for any further maintenance needs, you guys can always email me, righteousredneck777@yahoo.com. I can help you out there. Oil, anything you want to know about. Tires, what tire brands I recommend. I'm a big fan of Cooper tires and Goodyear tires, so it just depends. You know, it depends on what you're driving as far as what I would recommend. But yeah, those are just some things to think about when getting into a used vehicle, which I recommend. I never recommend buying a brand new off the lot vehicle. You're hurting yourself by doing that. Sure, it's brand spanking new, but so is a car with 35,000 miles. It's practically brand new and just been broken in. So save yourself some money. Take my advice and stick to used. There's absolutely nothing wrong with buying a used vehicle. So you guys take it easy. If you like this video, share it. And if you're not subscribed, please click on the bell to the right to be notified of all my future videos, as well as you know, anything, my live streams. You guys can be a part of my live stream where I answer car maintenance questions as well as other questions on other topics. I do those Tuesdays, 10:30 a.m. Central Standard Time. I appreciate you guys watching, and take it easy.